Alert this morning and a major blow to ISIS. U.S.-backed forces successfully taking back the caliphate's capital in Raqqa, Syria.
And just days ago, U.S. soldiers took out almost 50 ISIS terrorists in airstrikes over Yemen.
So what does this mean in the war on terror? It's certainly good news. Here to weigh in is U.S. Army Special Forces veteran Jim Hansen. Thank you, sir, so much for coming on this morning.
Pleasure.
So we have, we have the soldiers are, giving up. We've got the leaders on the run moving into eastern Syria. This is wonderful news. Tell us about how important this is.
Yeah, it looks like President Trump's focus on actually crushing ISIS worked. And as a guy who wrote a book called Cut Down the Black Flag, a plan to defeat ISIS, I couldn't be happier for it to be obsolete. This is a huge win. Raqqa was their capital. The black flag is in the dirt in Raqqa, and they're running everywhere we can find them. They're trying to get away. They're running for the border, and they're looking for any safe haven where they can run and hide.
So obviously, as you mentioned, a huge win for President Trump. Fair to say a blow to the image of ISIS, if you will. How do you think they go about other terror tactics at this point now?
Well, their caliphate is gone. That was the big thing that ISIS did. They declared a caliphate, they held some ground, and they actually ran their flag up and held territory. That is a huge defeat for their recruiting efforts worldwide. So I think it's a time for them to have to relook at what they actually are about. They are no longer a somewhat nation state, and that's good news for everyone.
It's in all fairness, it is getting some coverage in network media. It is a big story, but it's a really big story. I mean, this has been a major threat to the Western way of life for the last 3-4 years. Do you think it's getting a fair coverage?
I don't think it is. I think the media does not want to cover anything that is positive towards Donald Trump. This is quite positive towards his policies, so they're ignoring it. I think something else we want to make sure we pay attention to. President Trump gave an amazing speech about how Iran is the real enemy in the region. And right now in Kirkuk, the Iranian-led militias, which are more properly called terrorist death squads, have run the Kurds out of Kirkuk. And I think the U.S. needs to look at whether or not we need to support the Kurds against what is actually an Iranian incursion, so we don't run into a problem losing the peace after this win against ISIS.
Well, right. That's what I was just going to ask is how do we win that peace now? How do we make sure that we don't lose it?
I think we need to get the Iranian influence out of Iraq. Tehran has been far too a tyrannical influence on the Baghdad government in Iraq. And there are IRGC terrorists who President Trump designated as a terror group in Iraq running these Shia militias that have been slaughtering Sunni civilians and right now are rounding up and torturing Kurds. And that's something that's not going to lead to the peace. The Kurds were our best ally against ISIS. Yeah. We need to stand by them.
We got to back the Kurds. They have been awfully good to us over the years. All right. Thank you, sir, so much for coming on this morning. We appreciate it.